Ah! Ah! Siebia! Ah! 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 Siebia! Yep, 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 yep. Yep, meow, wap, wap. Big nipple titties, big nipples, big nipples, big nipples, Charlie. Anyways, okay, so Twitch and their infinite fuck you stupidity decided to go with the AI training bullshit, and I'm doing my part of brain poisoning the AI, but I also clicked on the do not train my videos with AI models. But just in case Twitch just ignores that and goes, you know, fuck you, we're going to use your videos to train AI models, I figured let's brain poison them just a little bit. Let's give the AI stupidity forever. Because, you know, Twitch decides that we're just peons, peasants, and they're you know, there's no other competitor out in town. I don't care if I get copyrighted nuked from this goddamn platform. I'm above it. I'm above you now, Twitch. I'm above you now. I can go to YouTube and stream there if I feel like it. But what are you gonna do about it, huh? That's what I thought. Nothing. It's me, Duke Nukem. I don't care. Ah! Ah, Girth. Imagine the Girth Master. It is I, Girthquake, your new dad. Anyways, it's Weird Wednesday, which means it's time for weird bullshit. Today's video that we will be reacting to is called Aliens Underwater. UFO Encounters from the Abyss from, well, YouTube, movies, and TV. That's what the channel says. Let us begin at the beginning, for that is, I guess, a place we can start. The views expressed in this film, blah, 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 reality, and oh, we might get nuked. I'm not willing to take the chance on getting nuked. Copyright. Yeah, fuck it, copyright. We only live once, whatever, plus ultra. Chewie, it's me, your father. Okay. We are experiencing...
familiar with reports of UFOs tearing across the skies at night.
Doesn't seem to be streaming. I love I just love chat. I love. It appears not to be giving us a black thing. So one moment while I get a new weird video. It seems that we can't show that on stream. We were gonna do the underwater aliens, but apparently it does not want to stream for us. So let's just fuck it. Let's do. You know, I want to talk about let's talk about dinosaurs. No, I want to do something alien related here. Let's see if UFO Diaries. I don't know if that's copyrighted. That might be copyrighted. Let me just. Yep. Love that. Love this chicken at Popeyes, chat. Anyways. Next up is UFO Diaries. UFO Diaries. UFO Diaries. Let's make this look less like shit, shall we? I want this to look good, chat. I crave the perfection and the utterity of Now, this is UFO Diaries, a documentary from 1995, and this is from That's Entertainment. I don't think that's who owns. But let's go down a rabbit hole of UFO Diaries from 1995.
One of the most intriguing mysteries in the field of modern UFO research can be found not in the sky
Okay.
or in outer space, but in
I like how energetic this guy is. I feel like I know him from somewhere, but I don't.
There, in the vicinity of the dry bed of Groom Lake, this complex
But where's Bride Lake?
Day and night, seen by countless witnesses and photographed.
Countless witnesses, you say.
The rumors about it are true.
Rumor has it I'm good at video games. That rumor is a lie.
Secret projects of this or any other century.
Any other century?
There are secrets of some kind in this mysterious complex, because according to official
Jesus, man, slow down!
Installation simply does not exist. Why is this desert base such a secret? Is the truth about its purpose related to the continual sightings in the area of UFOs?
Yeah, well, tell me.
The Bizzare story broke. The UFO watchers came here and discovered.
This guy looks like someone's high school science teacher. This guy looks a lot like someone's high school science teacher. Now, class, turn your page to page 45. We're going to learn about mitosis today.
They came here in four-wheel drives to overlook the secret base.
In a recent interview, Robert Lazar claimed he was...
Robert Lazar, isn't he that guy who talked about the UFOs and like the government back in the day? Like, I'm Bob Lazar, not to be confused with Rem Lazar. I'm here to tell you about the UFOs I've seen. One day we need to do the Bob Lazar interviews.
Research specialist at a hidden base even more secret than the Groom Lake installation.
Really?
When I went to work, I was flown from McCarran Airport.
Oh, this might be Bob Lazar's stuff.
From Area 51, I was bused to an even more highly secure facility located about 15 miles south of Area 51 called S4. S4 is situated at the base of the Papoose Mountains by the Papoose Dry Lake bed. The S4 installation is built into the mountain and the 9 hectares.
I love it. This looks like something you would get, like, you know what this makes me think of? Like a cutscene from, like, an old PC video game. Like, this looks like a cutscene out of a really old, like, late, like, 90s ass PC video game.
Doors are angled at about 60 degrees. These doors are covered with a sand-textured coating to blend in with the side of the mountain and the
Sand-textured
desert
coating.
floor.
According to Bob Lazar, it was in this hidden base that he worked.
Oh, I wanted to see more of the early 90s CG.
Based on technology given to mankind by beings from another planet.
This is very, very zoomer editing.
Briefings, and not only was I taught that
I'm
these
sorry
are
to the young folk.
but they were demonstrated for me, and I know they are
I should
true.
apologize.
Lazar went on to claim that there are several fully working flying discs at the S4.
Yeah, if there were flying saucers, I think we'd be using them by now, but I'm being an asshole.
It's a sport model. The sport model is about 16 feet tall and 40 feet in diameter. The center level of this disk also houses the control consoles and seats, both of which were
Or else we would see billionaires crash them.
adult human beings.
If the story Lazar
That's my opinion,
this
anyways.
design is no mere fantasy, but a reality.
But is it a Pegasus no fantasy?
That Earth has been visited by intelligent beings from another planet. Could the U.S. government actually...
One moment, I'm being called. BRB. I'm sorry for the pause. Big throbbing, muscular, angry throb.
One or more UFO
Yeah, the poor CGI from the 90s.
The public and the press for almost 50 years.
I'm sorry.
If the story has already been told, why is the government still taking such extraordinary measures?
That is a good question.
To try and keep the base hidden?
That's a good question.
According to this research by the Salt Lake Tribune in September of 1993.
Okay, tell me
Air Force
more.
Secretary Sheila Whitnow requested control over nearly 4,000 acres of publicly owned land.
4,000 acres, you say?
The Nellis Range complex. Glenn Campbell has dedicated the last few years to breaking the wall of secrecy around
Secrecy,
Area 51
you say?
base at Groom Lake.
Groom Lake, you
Area
say?
51 is a small
Yet again, we're back to the 90s-esque science school teacher.
block of land. It is simply the best known of the secret areas of the
Secret
Nellis
areas.
Range complex. Behind that, we have vast
Yeah.
areas of desert. Until
I kinda
the
wanna see
early 1980s, it was actually
Which was
possible to drive
not that
up to the
far.
range
Okay, so
island
97.
and cross and see the base in the distance.
97, I was
It
9
a secret
years
base,
old.
but an open secret.
This came out when I was 9 years old. Some people who are in their 20s now are never knew this world, you know.
Soviet spies from looking down on this base. At that point, the base
Did the Soviet Union collapse like
it disappeared from USGS maps.
6 or
But ever since then, the government has
7
refused to
years before
confer
this
the base
came
in any
out?
manner or form.
Whatever may be happening
Like-
in Area 51, it seems certain that the high security is not to keep people from wandering into some area where they could be hurt. It is designed specifically to protect whoever or whatever is inside the complex at Groom Lake.
What's going on here?
I'm sorry, the road's blocked. Let's move it on, please.
Isn't this public land?
roads gone?
They're prepared
Roads
to use the
gone!
force necessary to keep the people as far away as possible from this area.
Norio Hayakawa says he has witnessed
Roads gone!
the aggressive security measures at Area 51.
In 1991, I led an investigative group from Southern California, including some journalists, to this area. And
This guy feels like he would be on Star Trek in the 90s, talking about the energy being or his weird alien son. Okay, you remember, like, oh god, what was the name of Riker's weird alien son? We're going on a small tangent here. Riker's alien son. Yeah, Riker's alien son. Yeah, it was in Future Impact. No, hello, it is I. It is I. I'm gonna show you Riker's alien son, and then we can move on with our lives. Look, there's Riker's alien son, everybody. He told Bob Lazar all the secrets that Bob Lazar knows. Back to your regularly scheduled wibbling.
was leading a caravan of 7 cars on this dirt road. Suddenly, a black military helicopter with no insignia came over and approached our cars, came in front of our
Like this
cars,
musical
almost
sting
about
that they're doing here.
10 to 15 feet
It's
above
better
our
now.
cars.
Better now.
At no time were we trespassing the military area. We were well away from the military zone, and we were on public land. We had every right to be on public land, but yet we were harassed.
For 40 years, it has been the location of choice for testing black projects. The most secret projects in the world that our military is looking into, that's where they go. I mean, it's perfect for that. It's ringed by mountains. It's in the middle of nowhere. It has, I'm told, surface-to-air missiles in case planes fly over that aren't welcome there. It has motion detectors in the ground. It has ammonia detectors that can sense the smell of ammonia in human skin. It has surveillance cameras to see who's looking down on the base. So it is an extremely secure location.
Of course, these kinds of security measures have been taken in the past around top-secret military installations. Could it be the next generation of high-tech weaponry?
He said it! The next generation! This is UFO documentaries. This is UFO let me start over, I'm sorry.
High-powered lasers.
Let me start over. This is UFO Diaries from 1995. It's a UFO documentary. We're just here with Bob Lazar.
Many of us
And this guy who, I don't know who this guy is, but he's not Bob Lazar. That I know for sure. I know what Bob Lazar looks like. But this guy looks like he, I don't know, owns a restaurant chain of some kind. I don't know. He looks like that. Yeah, he looks like he owns a Denny's franchise. Take that as you will.
That definitely resemble what known as flying.
I love these 90s ass UFO like CGI cutscenes. They make me think of like an old 90s adventure or like 90s PC video game where in the RTS they introduced the new alien unit. Doo-doo! Butt up! We're back!
Hundreds of UFO watchers.
Hundreds, you say?
Out into the Nevada desert, across public land, and make their way up to the top of Whiteside Mountain or
Whiteside Mountain.
Catch a glimpse of what
Whiteside Mountain.
Vehicle from another world.
In one of our expeditions to
Hayakawa. Niro Hayakawa. Okay, Mr. There you go, that's how you pronounce that man's name.
Succeeded in taking rather remarkable footage of what appears.
Now, I've never seen a UFO. I think I've mentioned this before, but the closest to a paranormal slash supernormal thing that ever really happened to me was one time I had like massive, really, really bad deja vu where I swear I've been to a place, but I know I've never been there before, and that was eerie. That feeling of I can swear I've been here before, but I know I haven't that was the closest to anything out of, you know, time that I've ever been in.
A consistent story that comes.
Okay, Cosby, I'm going to ask you the question. Ah. Is it me or does this guy look like he teaches, like, science? Like, this guy would be a science teacher back in the 90s. Like, this guy looks like he would teach... 1953? That's 1 year before Godzilla.
The Russians have been taking pictures of Area 51 for many
Whoa,
years.
whoa, whoa, what was that guy's name?
Interest in UFOs. And
Why? Wait, whoa there, Chief. I need to see that image. You just can't tell me what that image is. I need to see that image of Stalin again, just for one moment.
Any conventional aircraft I've ever seen, no sound whatsoever. But the remarkable thing is
I'm sorry, I had Chinese takeout today for dinner. Good old General So, he's there for me. General So hungry. I'm sorry, I'll stop. That's not nice to that man. You'll see it.
Could this really be a vehicle from another planet that fell into human hands?
A consistent story that comes up from a lot of workers is that a craft was brought here around 1953, and that actual live aliens were brought here about that same time.
the Russians have been taking pictures.
George Cap. Nap. Cap. Nip.
Pictures of Area 51 for many years. Stalin had an intense interest in UFOs.
Okay, is it me or does Stalin look very Mario-esque in this image? That's it! You're going to the gulag. We have no time for the princesses in the workers of paradise. Wahoo! Luigi, we will hang the last capitalist when he sells us his rope. Wahoo!
And it wasn't anything of earthly origin. They didn't know exactly where it came from, but they knew it wasn't ours and it wasn't theirs. And this was something that
Oh, those poor aliens. Look at them. They're dead now.
Are still nothing more than hearsay and rumor without more evidence to support them.
This UFO documentary has a little too much high energy for me.
Mystery to workers as they are to us.
Where exactly did these stories of captured UFOs at Area 51 originate?
the folks who run Area 51 won't admit that it exists. There was a federal lawsuit that was just tossed out a few days ago in which they just wanted to know the name.
Remember the raid on Area 51 that everyone tried to do back in, like, what? I don't know how many years ago, but a while ago. I often think about that sometimes. I think about that sometimes.
Blacked out windows directly to your workplace. You see nothing more than the hangar or the few buildings that you happen to work in.
That's the interesting dichotomy. The Russians can fly over it and take pictures, but we, the people who put the bills for the place, aren't supposed to know about it.
In 1988, a Russian satellite...
Didn't the Soviet Union collapse by 1997?
took a remarkable photograph over Area 51. Notice the object highlighted at the end of the runway. It's positioned at the same position as if it were about to take off.
As unusual
Interesting.
as the object in the photograph may be, it is hardly proof of a captured alien technology.
Is it me or does this guy have, like... He has way too much energy. Like, he feels like he drank, like, 9 cups of coffee or something.
Where is the real proof of these astounding claims?
Please stop walking around.
A scenario where the craft has an anti-gravity reactor or a gravity reactor that produces a wave of gravity to counteract Earth's. If you're inside this craft, it has no seatbelts because to you...
I love that 90s ass wireframe.
It is always upright at natural gravity.
If true, Robert Lazar's claim that he worked on a full-scale flying version of this craft could well be the most important news story of the century. But what about the story behind this supposedly alien technology? How did it come to be in human hands? According to Lazar, during his stay at Area 51 and S4,
Lazar leak
which, if true,
this kind of stuff.
constitute
I can't
undeniable
remember.
evidence
It's
of intelligent life on other planets. In Lazar's video interview, he claims that while at the super-secret S4 facility, he was shown official briefing documents stating that the beings who gave us the secrets of the flying saucer came from the Zeta Reticuli system, 35 light years.
Oh yeah, I remember about this. Yeah.
25 to 50 pounds. They have grayish skin and large heads with almond-shaped wraparound eyes. These beings said that they had been visiting Earth for a long time and presented photographic evidence which they contended was over 10,000 years old. There was an exchange of hardware and information sent from Nevada until 1979, at which time there was a conflict which brought the program to an abrupt halt.
Oh man, we didn't give the aliens Doom.
The beings from Zeta Reticuli.
Imagine the aliens showed up and we just gave them Doom and then they gave us all the problems. I'm gonna rewind that. They gave us all the solutions to all of Earth's problems for Doom. Like, this shit rocks. Yeah, humanity's worth saving. Thanks for Doom.
Is this the secret the military is so eager to protect at Area 51? Perhaps the tight security around the testing site is well warranted.
Maybe they just want to keep the hot alien chicks to themselves. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it.
Lazar says he witnessed the operation of the ship's power source, and that it made use of the enormous energy made possible by antimatter. And according to Lazar, one matter-antimatter weapon could easily destroy all of human civilization.
I mean, depending on how big it is. Robot, I wish that the aliens would come and take you away from me, Robot. So that you constantly invading my streams. You, the robot.
This can't be seen from any vantage point, and for all practical purposes is invisible. All you could see would be the sky surrounding it.
Assuming for a moment that all of this is true, what exact purpose could the military have in mind for this new technology? Norio Hayakawa says he believes these new advances will not be used for the common good of all humankind.
That doesn't surprise me.
Technology, one way or the other, is going to be used for some type of military activity. This could be used for a large-scale, unprecedented type of war we have ever seen.
According to Hayakawa, the secret installations at Area 51 and S4 are not the only places our government is experimenting with super advanced technology.
The problem is with this, right? I'm not going to get super political. But boy howdy, you think if we had alien technology, we would have used it in the past, let's say 25, 26-ish years is all I'm going to say. I feel like if we had access to alien weaponry, I feel like around 25-ish, 26-ish years ago, we would have used it by now. That's as political as I'm going to get.
California, where they are testing the parts to build some of these objects. And the strange thing about these facilities is that you don't see any aircraft on the runway. No
Yes.
When this facility
The Hummer is alien of origin. I should have known. No human would have ever designed the Hummer.
rows and rows of cement trucks, almost 24 hours a day for several weeks at a time, indicating that a large underground...
Or, I don't know, we could be using it to fight the Decepticons.
I was fortunate enough to interview...
Wait, what? Right, I'm not misremembering it, but Area 51, wasn't that built to hide, like, the Allspark in the Transformers movies? Or am I misremembering it? Was it, like, something at, like, the North Pole or some shit?
There's research laboratories and things like that under the desert floor, and then the surface was restored to look like it did before.
According to Hayakawa, the security around this facility is as strict as that surrounding Area 51, and the sheer size of both facilities is truly staggering. Even if some secret project of gigantic proportions really is going underground in California and Nevada, does that mean the technology is being developed for hostile purposes?
To be honest with you, I would not be surprised that some abductees...
I'm gonna say it. This guy looks like he would be an alien on Star Trek if you gave him, like, a weird forehead. And he would probably be, like, one of, I don't know, the... Yes, my people are a peaceful one. In order to achieve peace, every 5 years, we hold a contest and kill 1 trillion of our own people. It is how we've obtained peace for centuries, Picard. It is how we've obtained peace, Picard.
There again, we're dealing with a criminal case here that involves total violation of our constitutional system.
The government violating the Constitution. Wow. That feels so quaint now these days, that idea that the government can just violate the Constitution.
In Robert Lazar's video, he claims that the S4 facility near Area 51...
Was Ruby Ridge 90-ish? Yeah, Ruby Ridge was in the 90s.
...in southern Nevada, with 9 giant hangar doors textured to blend in with the surroundings.
I'm gonna stop with the politics, I'm sorry.
Some people who claim to have been kidnapped by the occupants of a UFO and then taken to a mysterious underground facility.
Abductees have been taken to places that they have assumed were underground facilities. Abductees have also reported that...
I like how friendly the Greys look here. They're just like, oh, he's lost. Let's right? The Greys look very friendly here. They're not malevolent looking, you know what I mean? Like fire in the sky. They just seem friend-shaped, I'm sorry. These are the Space Brothers. Eons ago. Brothers from outer space.
U.S. military people involved in their abduction.
And yet, there are also those who believe that the military is developing this technology for the protection of the human race from an alien invasion.
I don't think the government or the military believes that we face a major threat from anybody on this planet. That our greatest threat literally comes from someplace out of this world.
Others believe the government is only interested in protecting itself.
They started infiltrating UFO organizations. They spied on UFO researchers.
That wouldn't surprise me at all, actually.
They actively encouraged this laughter curtain, a policy of ridicule that anyone who sees a UFO...
Yeah, that, yet again, that doesn't really surprise me, you know?
That's just the
like, even if aliens and the government have, like, no knowledge of alien technology or nothing like that, it would not surprise me if the government wouldn't want to ridicule these people and infiltrate their organizations. That wouldn't surprise me at all, I'm sorry.
It's an underground military presence that is vast. Friends of mine who've been in it have said that it's literally a 40-story building buried underground.
For whatever reason, the military continues its effort to gain control over the only two visual access areas to Groom Lake. The public demand for an explanation to the mystery of Area 51 is growing every day.
If UFOs are real, the government has perhaps a legitimate interest in avoiding panic and making sure that society does not overreact to this situation. Purportedly, UFOs have been known to the government since the 40s and 50s. During that time, there was a lot of hysteria about communism, about world affairs. If you were to introduce UFOs at that time, perhaps there would be mass hysteria. Perhaps there would be a shaking of the foundations of our society.
So much of what has been said about Area 51 and secret installations is, after all, little more than hearsay. Is there any real proof? Any indisputable evidence that alien technology is being tested and used at Area 51? Could it be that locked deep beneath the desert floor, there is an alien spacecraft? Is it possible that behind the tightest ring of security in our history, there actually exists proof positive of life on other worlds? And if that proof is there, it brings up another, even more profound question. Would the world be better off if that startling disclosure were reserved for some future chapter of UFO Diaries?
Oh boy, aliens. This is gonna anger me. As someone who really likes the pyramids and the achievements of the ancient Egyptians, as, like, you know, people who... The achievement of building the pyramids... I'm not going to get into it. It's going to anger me in a way that I can't describe. I'm sorry. With a crane. The Egyptians.
The pyramids were built by Egyptians of the 4th dynasty, around 2500 BC, as burial tombs for the pharaohs of that period. But is that view sustainable in light of what we know today?
Yes.
Many experts insist the ancient Egyptians could not have built these marvelous structures, and if they didn't, shouldn't we learn who built them and why? Archaeologists have told us for decades now that many of the Egyptians of 4,000 years ago worshipped the sun and believed in fantastic beings who came down from the sky to bring knowledge and wisdom to mankind. Is this a clue to the real origin of the pyramids? Do recent discoveries on other planets tell us more about the pyramids of Egypt? Is it possible?
I do like that. Was that the Rosetta Stone there?
Could the true nature of the pyramids hold the answer to the mysteries of mankind's existence on Earth?
No.
All of these questions are mere speculation without more evidence that the pyramids are anything more than what they appear to be. 3 gigantic piles of carved stones on the edge of the desert.
Limestone.
The largest has been attributed to the pharaoh Cheops, but it is more widely known.
Like, we know that the pyramids had, like... So, what we have here is actually that the pyramids... That's like the outer basin of the pyramids. Some of it is eroded, and that includes, like, a covering of... And even a base... No, I said limestone, I'm sorry. And that there was a base, and that one of the Great Pyramids had a tip made out of solid gold, and we don't know whatever happened to that, the tip of solid gold on the pyramids. Don't know what happened to them. Don't know what happened to the tips of solid gold on the pyramids. Probably thieves stole those That's like the theory that most people have, is that, you know, they're gold and, you know, they're out there just in the desert. All you gotta do is climb up there, climb on the pyramid, and you get yourself a freaking huge, massive piece of gold.
35 Empire State Buildings with several tons left over. Its alignment to true north is almost perfect, and the precision of its construction has never been duplicated.
No, no, it has.
4,000
It has.
years ago have built such a magnificent structure? Or should we
Oh, yeah, that sounds like it would be a pain in the cock to do, though.
behind the pyramids? The Greek historian Herodotus.
Cosby, I just had a brilliant idea for a movie. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. It's a heist movie for the gold on top of the pyramids. And they involve aliens. Aliens didn't build the pyramids, but they sure helped steal the gold on top of it. There's my idea for a movie. There's my idea for a movie. The aliens helped the thieves steal the gold for a cut of the gold.
Established a traditional view when he visited Egypt in the 5th century BC.
I'll take my $1 billion now, Netflix.
Men, replaced every 3 months, built the Great Pyramid in 20 years. But is that possible?
To build the Great Pyramid in 20 years, as some archaeologists claim, would have meant setting one of those huge stones every 3.5 minutes.
Probably, yeah. That's impressive, right?
Technology we don't have today.
No, they...
stones in place was only part of the problem. How did they manage to get these massive stones from the quarry to the building site?
You got a point there. That is not as funny.
That hundreds of thousands of slaves were used to build the pyramids. Nothing could be further from the truth.
No, we have...
The Egyptians of the 4th dynasty were neither a formidable military nation nor a very aggressive one. But even if they were, there were not enough potential slaves within a 5,000-mile radius to have supplied the workforce needed.
But if there was not enough manpower available, how could the work have been done? Even if the builders used some kind of clever machinery to help them get the
logs
into place, Egyptologists still disagree on what kind of device that could
ramps, logs.
The generally accepted academic viewpoints are divided equally between the rollers and the rampers.
Did you ever hear about that theory that because ancient Egyptians existed alongside the last mastodons, that some people believe that the ancient Egyptians used mastodons to pull the huge-ass rocks that made the pyramids? That's one of my favorite theories about the pyramids, is that Egyptians used mastodons to help pull the giant limestones that they carved.
If the ram theory is discredited, the remaining explanation is that the blocks were rolled on logs. But does that theory survive?
Oh, dang.
Moving a given stone in this manner can be demonstrated, but some rather obvious considerations.
Because that's one of my favorite dumb theories about Egypt.
Trees available in ancient Egypt were date palms, and as a food source, it's unlikely they would have been cut down. Importing logs would have required more shipping than Egypt has ever possessed in its entire history, just to transport the 25 million trees needed. Next, it's virtually impossible to roll a log on stone-chip roads. But even if they could be rolled, the great weight of the stones would have crushed the logs to pulp within a very short distance.
However the Great Pyramid was built, one thing...
I think that some I heard, if I remember this correctly, I don't know if this is true, but they found, like, dwarf mastodons in a small... fossils of skeletons of a dwarf mastodon in an island in Russia. And they believe those were the last mastodons around before they went extinct. That the last population was those isolated in the island in Russia that went there via the land bridge. I can't remember where I heard this from, so it could be wrong. I'm sorry. I'm not 100% sure where I heard this from, but I heard this from somewhere, so please take that with a grain of salt. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Some experts say the answer lies in the foundation and orientation of the Great Pyramid.
It's doubtful that ancient Egyptians had any knowledge of modern geology, and without this science, it's inconceivable that a structure this size could be built with which would not crumble from lack of a proper foundation. Normally, it would just sink slowly into the ground. In modern construction, engineers find
This just makes me think of what things, like what buildings do you think, like, in the future people will think we just did not have the technology to build? Like, what monuments will survive that long and will make people think that they aren't built by us humans?
Knew how to achieve that goal. And as engineers now tell us, they also knew how to keep the four sides of that giant edifice in almost perfect.
I don't know if the arch will be around that long. It's made out of steel. It might rust by then.
Maintain each side of the 756-foot wall within 6 inches of being perfectly straight, then it would be a tremendous accomplishment.
You have a very good point there, yeah.
Is only off of straight alignment by approximately 1/4 of an inch. That's totally impossible to duplicate in today's modern construction field.
Ta-da! Ta-da!
We know that whoever constructed the Great Pyramid of Giza built it so that it would last a long
The ancient Egyptians.
Archaeologists tell us that the structure was originally covered with a protective stone coating, making the sides perfectly flat and smooth.
Yeah.
That outer surface was broken apart and used as building materials during the construction of the city of Cairo.
Yeah.
But the pyramids themselves still remain unharmed. And we've already heard how the pyramid is unique among all buildings on Earth in its refusal to settle into the ground.
It's not.
As other giant monuments inevitably must. Apparently, whoever built the pyramid wanted it to be left exactly as it was. But why?
It's not even settled in the ground. I think, if I remember correctly, if I remember correctly, there's some chambers underneath some of the pyramids. I can't remember which one, though. I'm sorry. It's been so long. It's been so long.
Seems to describe the pyramids of Egypt. Sumerian texts are believed to be over 10,000 years old, 6,000 years older than the Egyptians who were supposed to have built the pyramids. But if the Sumerian translation is accurate, the pyramids were already there before the first pharaoh was born. If all of this is true, then these ancient tablets may hold the answer to the true purpose of the pyramids. Dr. Zechariah Sitchin has spent years studying the mysteries of these Sumerian writings.
Based on evidence provided by Sumerian texts, it appears that the Giza pyramids were built as beacons by extraterrestrials as part of a landing corridor ending at the spaceport in the Sinai Desert.
An intriguing and exotic theory.
You know what's fun?
How could the pyramids be of use to travelers from another world?
You know what's fun?
After all, as large as they are.
Having a boomer next door to you decide that he has to mow the lawn, even though it's gonna storm like you've never heard before soon. And that's right. I'm gonna mow my lawn, even though it's gonna storm.
Which an ordinary pile of stone simply does not do. But are the pyramids different?
Gravy.
The pyramids are essentially crystalline in structure, therefore highly receptive to radio-like energy waves or even
No.
microwaves.
No.
The Great Pyramid at Giza, with its 5 granite slabs above the king's chamber,
No.
was the ancient Egyptians called spirit stone, and they could have been a massive receiver transmitter tuned to some distant part of the universe of which we are still ignorant.
There's a vortex of energy emanating from the apex of the pyramid.
Well, I hope you had a nice time. Thank you for coming to the stream. We're continuing the Weird Wednesday.
A simple example of this emanating apex energy was first demonstrated by British inventor Sir W. Siemens. When he drank from the wine bottle he brought along, he experienced a slight shock as the bottle touched his lips. The electrical activity intrigued Siemens so much that he took a wet newspaper, wrapped it around the bottle, converting it into a crude electrical accumulator, which most high school science students would recognize as a Leyden jar. Although we don't know why or how, the Great Pyramid seems to be an accumulator of energies.
The only person of record, of authority, who still stands behind the assertion that there was radioactive sand was Dr. Ibram Nawawi, who gave in 1987 a discussion at an archaeological conference in Tennessee where a friend of mine, another archaeologist, literally heard him say with his own lips that they had found highly radioactive sand in the Great Pyramid. This does not compute as a low-tech structure, but something much, much more intriguing.
So might not the pyramids have been exactly what the ancient Sumerian texts seem to claim? A sort of cosmic lighthouse for passing space travelers.
As incredible as this may sound, it does seem to be the first explanation of the Great
Cosmic Lighthouse would be a good band or album name.
placement and design.
Cosmic Lighthouse would be a good album name. I'm sorry. I apologize. From outer space.
Also refer to the Earth as the seventh planet, as if
Well,
being counted from the outside of our solar system in toward the sun. Since Neptune and Pluto were only discovered in this century, how could the Sumerians of 10,000 years ago have known that the Earth is indeed the seventh planet? According to Dr. Sitchin, no one but space travelers coming to Earth past Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars could have considered Earth the seventh planet.
Pluto's not a planet, though.
Our quest for the truth about the Great Pyramid at Giza has now taken us into outer space, and to the theory that beings from another world may have actually built this colossal monument for their own purposes. And now we begin to make our own voyages to other planets, exploring the vast reaches of our own solar system. But have our meager explorations to date helped us to find the answer to the pyramid mystery, or simply raised more questions?
The fundamental mathematical relationships communicated by the structures at Cydonia are now eerily replicated in the Giza complex here on Earth, including the very placement of the Sphinx.
No, whatever, I'm stopping.
North of the equator is now directly linked to the D&M pyramid latitude at Cydonia on Mars, so we can't tell who the builders were.
Oh man, I remember the pyramids on Mars being this thing that absolutely fascinated me as a kid. Even the idea alone was so cool. Even though I now know they're just mountains, but still, even those mountains are still pretty damn cool. The fact that those mountains exist in this universe of ours, it's absolutely fascinating. Sadly, we now know that their natural foundation. Didn't Voyager just pass our solar system, if I remember correctly? I'm sorry.
Even so, the notion of extraterrestrial visitors constructing the pyramids of Egypt may seem to many to be simply too outrageous. Is it not possible, after all, that the ancient Egyptians were simply far more advanced than we previously believed?
Don't the theories of alien pyramid builders ignore the ancient Egyptians and any contribution they might have made in the creation of the Great Pyramid? Certainly. But then, the Egyptians themselves seem to have ignored it also.
The Great Pyramid was the greatest single undertaking in the whole history of mankind. And yet there is not one picture or drawing, not one artifact, not one inventory or tally sheet to tell of its construction. The Egyptians left us some 3,000 years of written and pictorial history, covering virtually everything that happened in their culture, from babies being born to plowing and harvesting, building,
My dog is barking.
sacrificing, praying, embalming, but nothing about the pyramids of Giza. Why?
When you enter the Great Pyramid,
Years, many people have come to dismiss the so-called mystery of the Bermuda Triangle in the same way they would a superstition or a fairy tale. But given the growing body of evidence that many things are...
Wait, isn't the reason why that so many ships get lost in that area is like due to hurricanes and like storms and ocean activity, if I remember correctly?
To many, the Bermuda Triangle is nothing more than the nickname given to an area of the mid-Atlantic, roughly cornered by Florida, Puerto Rico...
Isn't it that due to like hurricanes and storms, if I remember correctly?
Is it in some way different from
I think that's that was like the main thing people say. This is why so many ships and planes, because of like storms and rough waters.
But of course, not only the craft disappear forever, but all the people on board them as well.
I think the most spectacular mystery about the Devil's Triangle is probably one of the ones that's more played down than any other. and that's the disappearance of the Navy ship USS Cyclops.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's such a cool, scary story, though.
Ship. And this took place during World War I. Back then, they had coal ships instead of tankers because most of the ships operated on coal. Well, this ship had over 300 officers and men on it, put to sea from Barbados in the British West Indies, bound for Norfolk, Virginia. It was never seen again. The ship and the 300 officers and men disappeared without a trace.
Some claim that violent weather in the region is responsible, that sudden squalls have downed aircraft and sailing ships alike, sending them in moments to the bottom of the sea. Others, however, suggest a far more sinister force is at work.
Over the years, I have checked.
This guy looks like the Pringles guy. He looks like he would sell me some sort of old-timey tonic.
And rechecked almost every theory as to why so many ships.
Yeah, tell me about the underwater UFOs. That's always been a cool idea. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop now.
From the old Spanish Admiralty records that Columbus wrote, we learned that he was the first to record the strange and frightening images.
I mean, there probably were Taino people who had,
we can only guess at
you know,
the nameless dread that must have filled the hearts of the intrepid seamen lost in a strange.
I wouldn't call him intrepid, but I would call him, you know, a seaman.
We know that the Columbus expedition encountered the same mysterious phenomenon in the Bermuda Triangle that continues to haunt us, even in the pre-dawn of the 21st century. Columbus also recorded that the island natives, like the Caribs and the Iroquois of Puerto Rico, were long familiar with strange occurrences in this part of the world. Their legends contain many stories of sky gods and green fireboats that could fly in the sky or under the water. One of the most famous lost aircraft cases is that of Flight 19, 5 aircraft that vanished together shortly after World War II. It is also the story that many believe gives us the first clue linking the Bermuda Triangle to UFOs.
It began routinely enough on December 5th, 1945. An advanced training flight was scheduled for takeoff at 1400 hours. 5 pilots and 10 crew members were scheduled to go up. Ironically, their course was to be a simple triangle with an expected flight time of 2 hours. The flight leader was Lieutenant Charles Taylor.
Okay, that coming from Twitch.
With over 2,500 hours of flying time. Flight 19 had completed the first leg of the flight plan and turned north. Suddenly, all of the aircraft began experiencing problems with their instruments.
This is Foxtail 28, calling Foxtail 36. My instruments have gone crazy. My instruments are malfunctioning too. Where are we?
Some 40 miles away, Lieutenant Robert Cox, a training instructor, picked up their transmission.
Cox.
Cox called the base station in Fort Lauderdale, which had lost contact with Flight 19, and immediate emergency procedures went into effect. Base operations continued to receive Lieutenant Cox's transmissions, which told them Flight 19 was lost and disoriented, but they could not get through to Taylor or any of his pilots. Ham radio operators up and down the coast were also tuned into the lost flight and monitored their frequency.
Space
then, as night fell, one of them caught the last word
is here.
to ever be heard from Flight 19.
Don't come after us! They look like...
What could Lieutenant Taylor have seen that caused him to insist that no one try to rescue Flight 19? Meanwhile, according to Berlitz, a
demons
search and rescue mission had already been launched. But then the first plane to respond to the emergency, a giant Martin Mariner with a crew of 13, disappeared from radar.
In the end, Flight 19 and the Martin Mariner, 28 men in all, disappeared without a trace, as if they had passed through some window into another dimension.
According to Berlitz, the Naval Board of Inquiry attributed the disappearances to malfunctioning navigational equipment that caused the planes to run out of fuel far out at sea. But is it really possible for this to happen to all 6 planes simultaneously? Berlitz goes on to say that one member of the Board of Inquiry was quoted as saying Flight 19 had vanished as completely as if it had flown to Mars. Could that remark, in fact, be very close to the truth? deny that many strange and unexplainable events have transpired in the Bermuda Triangle. But is there evidence to support the stories of UFO activity? UFO activity different from that observed in any other part of the world.
Sightings of UFOs are quite common in the Bermuda Triangle, as well as reports of persons kidnapped by alien beings. There have also been numerous accounts about disc-shaped UFOs under the water in the same way as they perform in the air.
Richard Weiner, author of The Devil's Triangle, relates a case that seems to corroborate these reports of underwater UFO sightings. He tells of a charter boat operator named John Carpenter and of his remarkable experience in the Bermuda Triangle.
Like the director?
Carpenter apparently saw 2 UFOs exploring the water with some sort of projecting energy beam. Carpenter then saw exactly what so many others had reported seeing. Carpenter's experience would seem to confirm that whatever is going on in the Bermuda Triangle goes through the water or through the air with equal ease. It isn't just beams of light or beams of energy that punctuate the puzzle of the Bermuda Triangle. There is also some sort of fog or mist, and it seems to have a variety of peculiar effects on ships and planes. Einstein said the Bermuda Triangle could be a cosmic doorway leading to a different time and space continuum. Do UFOs have the key to that door?
We're dealing with something which is interdimensional. We're probably dealing with something which has been around for a very long time, not just since 1947. The UFO phenomenon is something highly complex and is composed of many, many different aspects.
Well, you have to ask the question, are they from another planet? We don't know the answer to that. A lot of people believe they're extraterrestrial. A lot of other people believe that they are from other dimensions, parallel universes, time travelers, that they're us at 2 million years in the future. Maybe.
I always loved that idea. That was one of my favorite ideas about UFOs.
UFOs have often been seen in the area by
That's always been one of my favorite ideas about UFOs.
figured prominently, but other witnesses tell of a greenish glow or mist. Charles Berlitz has recorded for us the case of Chuck Wakely, who was piloting for Sunline Aviation in Miami. Wakely had completed a charter run to NASA and was headed back to Miami. According to him, the sky was perfectly clear. Suddenly, he was surrounded by an intense greenish light, so powerful, in fact, that he could no longer see outside of the plane. Wakely said his instruments then began to malfunction badly. Soon, there was little he could do but release the controls and let the plane fly itself. Then, according to Wakely, the glow just as suddenly faded and everything returned to normal. So if disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle are part of the UFO abduction phenomenon, have there ever been missing time episodes there? Take, for example,
That's always been one of my favorite things about alien ideas, is that the UFOs are time travelers.
Was called for a time check.
Like, that's always been fun to me.
The panel clock was right on. They were 20 minutes out and right on schedule. Later, the co-pilot would remember seeing a strange green mist that enveloped the aircraft, but otherwise everything was completely normal. But in the Miami Tower, the air traffic controller was jolted when the blip of the approaching Flight 727 suddenly vanished from the radar screen.
I've just lost Flight 727.
The controller immediately went into emergency priority status. Within minutes, the Coast Guard Search and Rescue Squadron was in action, and the Miami airport prepared for the worst. When the flight attendant checked for any last-minute instructions, she couldn't believe she had completed her usual 10 to 12-minute cabin duties in less than 3 minutes. And the co-pilot was surprised to discover the greenish mist that enveloped the aircraft since the was gone.
Interesting.
Not only from about the aircraft, but from the sky itself.
I feel like I've heard this story before. I don't know from where. I'm sorry.
Precisely 10 minutes from the time Flight 727 had vanished from the radar screen, it just as suddenly and mysteriously reappeared. The complex equipment was in perfect working order, as the ongoing computer and manual scans verified. Flight 727 landed without incident, with the crew understandably curious about the emergency equipment along the runway.
I'm actually kind of fascinated by this story. I'm not being an asshole or anything, I'm sorry.
Despite the fact that the instrument panel clock synchronized exactly with the earlier tower time check. It was now, along with every one of the crew's watches, 10 minutes slow.
And what of that green fog? Could it somehow identify the doorway into another time?
I kind of want to know about the green fog. I'm not being an asshole. I'm not lying. I really do want to know.
On the good news, with a tow of 2,500 ton on 1,000 feet of 4-inch hopper. Beautiful weather. You wouldn't want for a nicer day anywhere. I was enjoying some downtime in my cabin when the electric started acting up.
This feels like it's a scene from a movie. I don't know where from though. Probably react. People reacting, not reenacting. That's the word I'm looking for.
That's just about when that blow smacked into us.
Reenacting. That's the word I'm looking for.
25 years at sea, I never saw the likes of that squall. It come out of nowhere. All our instruments were going crazy. Compass, radio, radar, engine monitors, absolutely berserk. At first, we was just worried about losing the tow. But then we started getting worried about our own skins. We were redlined at 850. Big twin 2,000 horse EMV diesels.
I don't think they mean the redlining in that way. I'm sorry.
Something had a hold of us and wouldn't let go. Then just like that, the squall was over. We set the automatic pilot to go check damage, and we hadn't lost no rigging or deck gear. But then what I saw gave me goosebumps all over. A half-ton of hawsers stiff-stretched after the fantail, and not a thing connected to the bitter end. When we got her hauled in, you could see there wasn't no eye splice, and the line wasn't raggedy like it had parted. No, sir. Looked like it had been whacked off with a fire axe, and there was a bone-aching chill in the air. Yet the rails and fittings were hot enough to give you a smart burn. We had a narrow escape from whatever took hold of us out there.
A half-ton of tow rope stretched out to nothing, and the barge was simply gone. Could aliens actually be controlling events in this part of the world?
I don't think so, but it's fascinating about the time travel stuff. That's always been fascinating to me.
That real culprits are invaders from another world. But is this the only possible explanation?
The blue holes in the ocean apparently have the quality of swallowing things that fall into them more quickly than other parts of the sea. It is a curious fact that no debris has been found from the ships or planes which have disappeared in the triangle. It has even been suggested that for some reason it has been important to take ships and planes intact to somewhere else.
About once a year, some salvage crew will claim they found one of the missing TBM Avenger torpedo bombers. The most recent one took place right off Fort Lauderdale a few years back. They said they found 3 or 4 planes together on the bottom, and that sounded really like they'd found the missing Flight 19. But doing a little research, I found out that after the war, they had a lot of planes or TBMs at Fort Lauderdale Naval Air Station that cannibalized parts off of for other planes. They fly those planes out, so to get rid of them, and they were surplus and of no use to the Navy anymore, they loaded them on barges at Port Everglades, took them.
Abduction phenomenon is.
This guy's like, I am totally human. I am human. I'm sorry.
Right now in information overload. Right now we know tremendous amounts about this subject, and we are closing in on the ultimate purposes. And I think within the next few years, we are going to completely
Sadly.
solve this phenomenon, and we are going to know what the entire UFO phenomenon is all about.
Sadly, you did not solve this phenomenon.
Are missing without any explanation. That is, no earthly one.
And completed the first flyby of Mars. So had Earth scientists...
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I remember hearing about those probes when I was a kid.
Apparently not. When the Soviets then attempted to actually land a probe on Mars, something astonishing happened.
Everything on the Mars probe seemed to be working perfectly, and then it just shut off.
Could it be that there's something out there that's interfering with Earth's efforts to conquer space? Or is it all just an incredible
I love that alien prop.
Whatever the reason, it was 5 years before the United States made another attempt to reach Mars. But in 1976, the Viking probe began sending volumes of images back to Earth from their orbits above Mars, including these.
Oh yeah, the face on Mars. I remember that. Wasn't there the God? What's the name of that movie?
Launched a set of satellites in 1988. Phobos 1 never even made it to the planet. At some point, it just disappeared.
Phobos 2, the probe that was sent up to look at one of the moons of Mars, apparently encountered something very strange, of which the Soviets had a picture that did surface in the United States.
Of a very massive elliptical shape object.
The NASA individuals here that may know about it, of course, would never make a comment on it.
And then it too disappeared.
Has this bizarre string of space disasters occurred because we caught a glimpse of something we were not supposed to see? Has the Viking space probe presented us with a mystery that is unsolvable? The mystery first began to unfold in 1976, when the unmanned Viking space probe was going about its...
I remember reading books about this stuff when I was a kid and just being absolutely fascinated by it.
Back to Earth began to be analyzed. This surface feature in a region designated
Stuff like this is just so cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry.
all over the Earth.
I really wish we had like 100% proof of any kind of life on Mars, even if it was just in the past that we had like prehistoric life. I know that there was water in Mars, so the idea that microorganisms once existed on the planet is a fascinating thought. Or even that there are microorganisms, or even small extremophile organisms that still continue to persist on the planet, is an interesting thought that has always just made me wonder when I stare up in the sky, you know what I mean?
Recorded, it was labeled head. Then we went through the archives to see if there was any other satellite passes over that same area. NASA said there wasn't at first, and we looked through their archives and found one. And there, just as before, there was a face with a higher sun angle, showing more detail than before. And images of the eyes showed pupils, and of the mouth area showed teeth. We were very impressed.
These two separate frames, identified by their NASA frame numbers 35A72 and 70A13, also contain considerable detail about the surrounding area, revealing several other images that DiPietro and Molinar found as exciting as the mysterious face.
About 10 miles away from the...
Like I said, the face on Mars was always something that fascinated me as a kid.
And the strange thing about those pyramids is they're very regular triangular.
Feline. Half man, half lion.
I like that picture. It's weird.
Hoagland's research...
I wonder if they had Windows 95 on those computers.
...made an amazing discovery.
Half lion. Maybe there's a connection. Maybe the face at Sidonia is half man, half something else?
First, they copied the left half of the Sidonia head, made a mirror image of it, and pasted it onto the other side.
That's the center half.
The results were interesting, but inconclusive.
Wouldn't it be wild if the picture...
However, when they tried the same thing with the right half, flipped it over, and matched it up on the left side, the result was a clear image of a lion's head. Are these merely strange optical illusions, or are they the key to understanding... Surely it's still possible that mere...
I'm skeptical. I'm sorry. I don't want to shit in people's cereal.
...and the images we've seen from Mars. Or is there any more and better evidence in their world and move to another, to the Earth?
And someday, we may discover, in fact, that we are the Martians after all.
Yeah, there was a movie about that. God, I can't remember its name.
On Mars, and that they built this complex structure, one important question remains. Why?
Sidonia was probably constructed to communicate some very fundamental information. We believe now that
my dog is aware of the Martians now, and he is angry about it.
The universe functions, a kind of a grand unified theory, as it were, given to us, communicated, even on the photographs taken by Viking, by the geometric layout of the structures.
Researchers now believe that the key to understanding the geometry of the DNM pyramid may be in the size, shape, and position of the massive structure. Hoagland and others point out that the pyramid is not oriented to the Martian North Pole, but is turned slightly to one side. Latitude lines show that two of the faces are out of alignment at exactly the same angle, 19.5 degrees.
Why 19.5? That on every major and minor planet that we have flown by, looked at, or mapped in the last 30 years through NASA imagery, the major disturbance, starting with Jupiter and the Great Red Spot, lies just about at 19.5 north or south.
The Great Red Spot on the planet Jupiter is essentially a giant cyclone, an atmospheric storm larger than the entire planet Earth. It continues to churn away for year after year, right at 19.5 degrees.
I didn't know about that. That's interesting, actually.
That on every planet in our solar system, there does seem to be some kind of major geological or atmospheric disturbance found at 19.5 degrees north or south, including our own gigantic volcano, Mauna Loa. Colossal power rages up from the center of the Earth, emerging in the Hawaiian Islands at 19.5 degrees north.
Huh, that's interesting.
Does this suggest that the builders of the DNM pyramid recorded in its structure
Did not know about that.
the inner nature of every planet in our system, including our own? According to Hoagland, the builders of the monuments at Cydonia had a reason.
Like, even if that's just like a statistical anomaly, that's still fascinating. That wonder why that is, though. I wonder why.
Object termed a tetrahedron. Because if you put this structure in a sphere, it predicts some remarkable phenomena.
Hoagland says that if a perfect tetrahedron or pyramid is placed inside a sphere, such as a planet, so that one tip is at the north or south pole, the other tips will fall at the latitude of 19.5 degrees north or south, the same as the angle
That's
in the DNM pyramid. Was this giant tetrahedron built
fascinating.
to help future
Is that true, mathematical people?
Sources of power within their own planets? There are still so many questions left unanswered.
Is that true, mathematical people, if you did that with a tetrahedron, or am I... Because that's still a fascinating, like, mathematical thing, nonetheless, you know?
Of the pyramids of Egypt, or just uniquely shaped piles
Like,
of frozen Martian soil? Is the perfect geometric precision found in these surface features of Cydonia nothing more than a bizarre series of coincidences? Could it be that we are descendants of ancient Martians who sought refuge from their own dying world? If so, does that mean that we are the Martians we claimed we might someday meet? As scientists plan future manned missions to the Red Planet, are we on the verge of learning that Mars is not only our destination, but was also once the beginning? Is this a portrait of the being who long ago made the very first entry into the UFO Diaries?
On 60 Minutes,
this is probably a VHS rip.
Truly amazing began to happen in the green fields of England. Reports came in of sightings such as this. Silvery discs flying or hovering low over the open countryside. And apparently, these objects were seen in great numbers.
The town of Warminster.
One of the most remarkable stories in the UFO Diaries began on the night before Halloween, 1938. The famous actor and director Orson Welles led his Mercury Theater of the Air in a radio drama in the form here. So would an astronaut's report of unidentified flying objects be considered undeniable evidence?
Yeah, I think I heard that Neil Armstrong or one of the astronauts on the Apollo mission saw a UFO. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard or read a story from somewhere. That could be just hearsay or me
In some cases, the astronaut sightings were caused by simple mistakes.
misremembering.
Themselves. One good example is the sighting which occurred on Gemini 4 by Jim McDivitt. He describes seeing a large cylindrical object with an arm sticking out of its side passing relatively close to the spacecraft. It wasn't until many years later that the object was identified as being Gemini 4's own booster rocket, which was in a similar orbit. It was a simple mistake, but it wasn't a alien spaceship.
If intelligent beings from another world are visiting us here on Earth, it seems reasonable to believe they are far superior to us in intelligence and technology.
I like that alien ball.
With this logic, one might suspect that they would be able to study us, even interact with us, without ever leaving positive evidence of their presence here. Does this mean, then, that we'll never be able to prove or disprove the existence of extraterrestrial beings on Earth?
It's a question of evidence. Are the abduction accounts alone sufficient to prove the event is occurring, or is something more tangible needed? Something like, say, the landing on the White House lawn.
I don't understand the motivation for making general statements like, if these things exist, where's the physical evidence? All elements of physical evidence that you could possibly want exist. We have pieces of material that allegedly came from a flying saucer in private.
Well, that was fascinating and a nice little trip down memory lane. I'm gonna get us something to sign us off on. I'd like to thank you for coming. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow because of the weather, just how bad the weather is here. It might really storm like crazy. And, yeah. If I do a stream, it'll be Demon Purge, Gal Guardians. I'd like to thank you all. Let's say thank you to the fine people of Egypt for sponsoring the stream. No, Egypt does not actually sponsor these streams. No one does. Goodbye, Egyptian JoJo!